Sends it out wide. Cameron the catch and run. Cameron breaking tackles. Cameron into space. It's a Baylor touchdown.
Stevie Lee, it's been a minute. Man, we've got a fun episode, and I think it's the first mother-son duo and stories inside the Man Cave podcast history, and it is the second appearance of proud Baylor moms. We had Sheila Henderson, co-author of a book. She was a proud Baylor mom, and they were promoting their book. But this is a first, and you just saw the son part, and both. I'll just say they're the Camerons. A belated Mother's Day mom-son story, Stevie, and you have ties to them both, right?
Yeah, we still go to church together. They whenever they're back in town, they come over to Summit Worship Center. They're friends. Yeah.
Well, here's the tease. You get to see the smiling faces. A lot of love, a lot of happiness right here. Big family, and there's a lot to be happy about. We're going to dive into growing up part for the gentleman in the middle right there, and we're going to talk about his path to Baylor, and then some adversity, some serious adversity that his mom overcame. And wow, it's inspiring. It gives me chills when I talk about it and from afar, because this has been, 2 years in the making. A lot of prayers have gone out to this woman, and they have uplifted, and it's a great story because the son, he's overcome a lot to get to where he is, and so has the mom, Stevie. You ready, brother?
Let's ride.
Let's ride, baby.
But this is just not a proportionate response to drawing a walk. You didn't do anything, dude. You drew a walk while your team is getting absolutely hammered. And now you're talking shit to our players.
Wow. I've been steaming over this. A 17-year-old freshman. Everybody on Twitter, I get it. Everyone has an opinion. This is not because it's Texas, but I saw all these people just trashing a young man on Twitter. No accountability. And I get it. The traditional baseball etiquette, you just take your walk and go. Jonah Williams out of Galveston Ball, two-way player, football, baseball. Stevie, first of all, your reaction, because that was a lot. I mean, that's just a small part that I saw of the criticism of Jonah Williams. What was your take on it?
Man, I don't like baseball etiquette, man, because this kids out there having fun, and you can't do the bat flip, man. If I hit a homer, man, I want to flip this bat as far as I can. So I don't really get baseball etiquette, but I also get baseball etiquette. The person that was talking right there, he's kind of right. You took ball 4, you get the walk. Did he take ball 4 because he's an incredible hitter to where they did not want to pitch to him? Or did he take ball 4 because the pitcher was just off? And what are you celebrating, the pitcher being off, or are you celebrating that you are an incredible hitter that you have to take, that no one wants to pitch to you? You know? So
That's fair.
Just take the ball 4, and then just take your base.
Well, I'll give that to you. But that team needed a spark. Texas has now lost 5 of the last 7 games since being number 1. Jonah is full of energy. It trickled down, and it carried over until to that Saturday game, and he came up big after a 2-hour rain delay.
Williams into left center field. That is in there. It bounces out to the fence. 2 runs in. Farmer sent home. Bases clearing double for the freshman. And Texas has its first lead of the weekend.
Okay, see, that's the type of kid he is. He does not allow the big time atmosphere, being the number 1 ranked team. and criticism to rattle him. And I think that shows a lot of a freshman, a young person in any sport. And our guy that we're the co-guest, if you will, is very similar. He's not rattled at all. We're going to talk about where UT baseball stands if they're going to win the SEC championship regular season, because they're on a downward turn right now. But baseball, as you know, Stevie, it is very, very much a streaky sport. Yeah. And so we'll get more into that. I am Shawn Clynch, by the way. That is Stevie Lee, the co-host of this series of Stories Inside the Man Cave, The Pass Rush with Stevie Lee. As you can tell, we would not be anything without our sponsor of this series, Hargrove Roofing, based out of Stevie's hometown, that being Shreveport, Louisiana, and they have trickled their way into the great state of Texas. Stevie, you are the face of Hargrove Roofing.
Hargrove Roofing, know who's on your roof.
That's beautiful, man. You can do it, and you can stand on anybody's roof. I'd love to see a big man like yourself not cave in a roof, but I think you're good. Hey, follow us on all of our socials, Facebook, IG, X, YouTube, and TikTok. And Stevie, you be proud of me. I finally updated TikTok because it's so much. We probably need to put somebody on payroll to handle that. All right, so I hate this. I hate this when the biggest game of a weekend is picked up by the network, which really takes great pride in their noon kickoff. The rematch from last year's CFP semifinal, the national champion Ohio State and Texas up in Columbus, will be at noon. Your thoughts?
I like it to be a night game because it's going to be a really big game, but I guess I can wake up early, get on the couch, and go ahead and watch
with your Yeti of water.
Yeah, no question. Hydration.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember, man, that's gonna be fun, man. I'm really, really looking forward to it, man. I was in Dallas for that game, and it really hurt. That game really, really hurt, man. I want some revenge in the beginning of the season, but I hope that these kids have a really good camp and come out and just start, for lack of better words, hitting people in the mouth. It's a revenge game, man. You got to go up there in their house and take their lunch.
Well, and there's plenty of guys from the CBS Sports top 150 ranked players, if you will. Here they are. I mean, and I did leave off. I just kept some Texas ties in there. There's just not enough space, but the top 150 in the entire country rated by CBS Sports for 2025. I mean, you've got plenty of Longhorns. You got Cade Klubnik from Westlake, number 2 rated player, the quarterback at Clemson. A lot of Aggies, SMU, TCU, Baylor represented, and a former Aggie quarterback, Haynes Keene from Georgia Tech. He's from Longview, Texas. He transferred out of Texas A&M to Georgia Tech. Everybody finds their home. And there's a tease right there of our guest on the bottom. Let's look at this. The Camerons, mother, son, Josh Cameron, the receiver at Baylor University, and Andrea Cameron. Welcome to the Man Cave.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So much.
Absolutely.
Y'all are cracking me up.
No, for real.
Hey, I'm sorry about the Longhorn bias. I know you guys are Bears. I know I can do it.
I appreciate it.
Hey, this is so I kind of go back to with the Camerons when his older brother and Josh were playing at Cedar Park. They were playing for state championships back then. Great kids, great parents, families, coaches, great community. We've got a lot to unbundle here, but I've got to get you, Josh, your thoughts when you saw that top 150 list and there was your name at 145 to be included in that, considering when you left Cedar Park. I mean, only you knew you were capable of something like that, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think first of all, just getting included on that list is just super, super huge, and it's honestly an honor that CBS looks at me that way. Obviously, that competitiveness in me, I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna go keep on climbing, get more more up on the ranks. So no, it's definitely cool to see my name up on there, and then see my teammate to B Wash, the running back. He's a dog too, so no, it's an honor.
Good. So I got to ask Mom. I mean, anything where you see your son or any child mentioned or something amongst the elite in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, you gave birth to this young man. You've celebrated everything he's achieved. Was there a tear at all when you saw that list?
I guess I get teary-eyed quite often. Josh will tell you, so it doesn't take much for me. So, I mean, of course, it's there was a teary-eyed moment, and then there was that moment, sort of like Josh said, where I'm very competitive. So our whole family, we're very competitive. And, I was like, well, shoot, 145. I mean, that's too low. My baby needs to be higher. So, hey, but I mean, it was definitely great seeing him recognized and just mentioned in that type of company going into the season.
Well, Stevie, here you go. You can take off on this subject. I got to get a graphic pulled up while you're asking your question.
Yeah, so the path from Cedar Park to Baylor, we talked about it off camera a little bit, that you came in as a walk-on, correct?
Yeah.
Were you were one of those preferred walk-ons? They wanted you to come there?
Yeah, preferred walk-on. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Preferred walk-on. And so tell us about when did they go ahead and offer you the scholarship, and then how did they do it?
So kind of beforehand, it was going back to high school. This was 2020 playoffs, and then the playoffs were a little bit later. It was, I believe it was like third round. I had a crazy game. I had like 10 receptions, 100 some odd yards, and then like 3 touchdowns. And then basically after that moment, my coach had a connection to Coach Wetzel. He's basically like the guy who coordinates with preferred walk-ons and just kind of gets them plugged in with the coaches. And so after that plug happened, I basically got noticed by Baylor. We were in contact with the receiver coach, Coach Aranda, and the relationship just started to build. So then after that, kind of into 2021, I believe January. Do you remember the day, Mom? I can't remember exactly. Was it like January?
Yeah, well, actually, at that point, they had already offered you a preferred walk-on actually back in December.
Okay. So yeah, got the preferred walk-on December, and then just kind of wrestling about where to go.
That's what it was.
Had some other schools look at me for preferred walk-ons as well, but ultimately decided Baylor because, one, my brother went there, so I was already familiar with it. Plus the way Coach Aranda was talking, being able to talk to a head coach, and just the way he was basically talking about me, I really enjoyed that too. So knowing I was going to put my head down, go to work, just kind of grinded all the way freshman year. Just trying to get on the field because I'm trying to get that scholarship basically. So I was just always in the special teams coordinator's office, Coach Powledge at the time, and just always bugging him like, hey, Coach, like, what can I do? This, that. After practice, getting an extra lift in every day with my boy Jordan. So just things like that. And so then I got on special teams towards the end of the year. Got to play in the Big 12 Championship, Sugar Bowl, things like that. So that was huge. Then I had a solid spring. That following year, started making my way more on the offensive side, less special teams. And then after that spring, I got put on scholarship. So, yeah, no, it was awesome, though.
And so how did they do it? Did they just call you in the office and give you a scholarship?
Coach Aranda, he's a super low-key dude. So his assistant at the time sent me a text like, hey, can you come to the office? I was like, oh, okay, sure. And then I just walked down. I was like, what's up, Coach? And then he was like, what's up, Josh? So we're going to put you on scholarship. I said, what? Just like that. And so I was like, that's it? I was like, what? He's like, man, I was like, thank you, coach. I really appreciate it. He's like, yes, sir. So then that's when I called my people. I was crying, talking to them on the phone, and then then they started crying on the phone. And they was driving too, so they was like,
yeah,
the crash. I can't even see the road. I'm crying. So it was an awesome moment though, for sure. But yeah, that's kind of how it went down.
So y'all didn't see it coming at all then?
No.
Honestly, nah, not really. I didn't think it was gonna be that soon. Because I was talking with coach. I was like, hey, like, what you thinking? Like, what do you need to see from me type deal? So he was just saying, you see this, blah, blah. Didn't give like a specific kind of time frame. So, yeah.
And in all honesty, I know for us, Josh's, his parents, we were really kind of naive about, how PWOs work, because I really thought, I was like, oh, yeah, you can, take this preferred walk-on and, they'll give you a scholarship sometime during your freshman year. Well, it wasn't until we got into, the football stuff and we started meeting guys that were like seniors and they were still waiting to get on scholarship. And, so we started to understand like how it all worked. And even, I don't even know if Josh knows this, but my husband and I, we were really, really having discussions about like, wow, are we going to be able to keep them there? What do we need to do? Because, Baylor is very expensive. It's not cheap at all. So it was, it was one of those things that, I mean, it was such, just God timing and everything. Because, like he said, when he called us, that was the end of his first official spring ball semester. Like he was crying. So I panicked. I'm like, Josh, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm like, oh my goodness. And it just so happened that, my husband and I, we were in the car together. And, as he was trying to get the words out and make the words out when he finally did. Yeah. We all just had a big cry fest.
That's awesome. That's good for you guys. I know how much those I kind of know how much those private Christian institutions cost. My daughter just had her signing day today to Avila University in Kansas City, Missouri, to play volleyball. And
I was going to say, she's going to play volleyball. That's awesome.
She plays volleyball, and if it wasn't for volleyball, she wouldn't be going there.
Yeah.
Because this is a private Catholic school.
Oh, wow.
They take academics very seriously up there. So it was, if she didn't get a scholarship, we would probably be out close to $200,000.
Oh yeah. I totally believe it.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So I'm so happy that she played volleyball.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, as Josh, since you've been a student athlete at Baylor, a football player, there's been a lot of changes. I mean, you came in, NIL was just a thought.
Yeah.
There were all these cases, and now we're going to pretty much eliminate the walk-ons at FBS level, expanding, I think, the roster size to 105 scholarships. So this makes it sweeter because you have had to work through it all and earn everything. But deep down, this guy, I remember him in high school. I mean, just cool, calm, collected, a leader, everything. And then the reward, the 2024 breakout season. And before I show you everyone, the numbers he's put up, and I know the majority of them were from last season, this guy he's showing the NFL scouts, hey, I can win, make plays in many different ways. I mean, even as a specialist.
And it is returnable. But I did get away from that original surge. Cameron with space to move. Hits the edge, and a stiff arm for Bassett. A convoy in front of him with a flag down behind at the 40.
So you tell me a little bit about that. I help me refresh my memory. Were you a returner in high school as well at Cedar Park?
I wasn't. I'm trying to think. I think it was the spring of 2023 season. Yeah. We got a new special teams coordinator, Coach Hancock. And so he basically was just like, hey, have you ever done punt return before? And I was like, what? I ain't never done punt return, kick return, not a day of my life. So I was like, I'm be honest, I've never done that. He's like, I coached a dude who had like similar build, kind of size like you, and so I think you'd be good back there. So I was like, shoot, I'll do whatever it takes, coach. I'll try it. I'll give it a shot. Not thinking much of it because what I'm saying, we had like guys like moderating 4-2 guys. I was like, ooh, shoot, I don't even know. But I gave it a shot. And I turned out to be pretty good at it. I was consistent with catching, things like that. And then just kind of kept on stacking, and then just kind of turned out to what it is today. So to answer your question, no, I did not think I was going to do punt return ever. So it just kind of fell into my hands through hard work as well. So it's pretty cool.
That was a natural stiff arm right there too.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. That's those running back days when I was young.
Yeah.
For sure.
He put Earl Campbell on. Put his Earl Campbell on. Stevie, look at that last line on this graphic. Look, second team All-American.
All-American returner. That's awesome.
That's awesome. So when you look at this, I don't know what you can say, and I know these days as a college football player, you kind of have an idea, maybe not so much during the season, but we are in the preseason, if you will, or off season of next year. You've got to feel good about where you stand for next year's draft entering this season. Am I exaggerating, or am I just being biased towards you?
Oh, no, for sure. I think just keeping the main thing, taking care of this season and then working to that next kind of phase of my life is huge. And so it's definitely there, but I don't try to let it like overtake me or anything like that.
Right.
Just the main thing. But no, definitely in a good position. Just wanted to kind of stack on to that next this upcoming season. So for sure.
Yeah. Just keep working out, man. You got tremendous upside to you. I think the base that you have right now. I'm kind of giving your mom and your dad their flowers right now, man, because you are a tremendous young man. Outside of football, outside of everything else, just talking to you these last few minutes. That's all to mom and dad for raising a cool kid in this crazy world right now. The other thing I was thinking, man, that you did all of this coming out of Cedar Park and in these COVID times, So you were in high school, in prime high school's junior, senior year during COVID and remote learning and trying to figure all this stuff out. I can't imagine doing that, trying to figure out where I need to go to play football next or go to school next during this whole crazy COVID time. So hats off to just a strong base foundation, which is God, I'm sure, with you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then family. You know what I'm saying? So you guys done a great job, Andrea. This is awesome to see this young man flourish right now. This is good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. Thank you. Definitely appreciate it.
No, it's a great story, and it's about to get even better as we dive into this. But we got to ask you, Josh, and Stevie and I, throughout, because during football season, he and I, we do this series every week. And it's not just Texas, it's the entire country region. You guys got off to a really slow start last year. And then all of a sudden, you guys went on this run. And you and I talked about it before we started this episode. You lost some guys on the defensive side. But do you feel like you've got enough pieces and with the portal and everything else that Baylor can make a similar run or just play off of how you finished?
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I think taking that momentum and carrying into this next season is really just vital. Really throughout the spring, we got to – this is probably the most kind of early enrollees and transfers we've ever had since I've been at Baylor. So just trying to get those guys plugged in and connected and just kind of seeing how they just kind of move forward and just kind of climb as the spring went on. So I think we're in a great spot for sure. So I'm just super excited for – I think August 30th, August 29th.
Yeah.
I know the game got moved. I can't remember which day, but to play Auburn, blackout, prime time. So yeah, no, I'm super excited for that momentum. So definitely want to shoot way higher than what last year was. But last year was definitely a good start for sure.
Both, I'll start with you, Andrea, and then Josh. Navigating this, the NIL and the portal era, we're all for it.
Yeah.
And I'll start with you, Andrea. As I said, do you, as a parent, what is it like? Because that's a lot thrown at a young person.
Oh, yeah.
Opportunities, which they should have.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I guess the first word that comes to mind is madness, but it's a mad world. On the one hand, I love that the players are able to benefit from their name, image, and likeness. It's a real blessing with the income and the financial gains that the players are able to make while they're in college. But I think it can kind of be a double-edged sword if you don't have a good support system around you. And, because the money is coming so fast and so furious, I think a lot of times, guys get stuck in the trap of making decisions just based on money instead of making decisions based on what's really, truly best for them as a football player, even, academically, when it comes to getting their degree. There are a lot of things that you have to consider before you just chase money. But I understand because, like I said, the money is, when you're not used to having, all of this, this massive cash flow that schools are throwing at you, it can be, really, really just intense. It can be mad. Stevie, I was sharing with Shawn the other day that I know for Joshua, his off season was really interesting because we're in the land of poaching now. And so there were a lot of schools coming after Josh. So while he didn't get recruited coming out of high school, he got recruited. Teams wanting him to enter the portal and, they're going to pay him XYZ dollar and they're going to do this, they're going to do that. So that was pretty intense. I know Josh got tired of it all. And, he was just like, Mom, I'm tired of it. But again, it's one of those things just as a parent watching and going through it. Like I said, they're certainly good. It comes with the good and bad. I wish everyone had just a strong support system to help them navigate it. So we're just, fortunate and blessed. And Josh has always been very open with us. He's, he's just like most of the calls Josh gets, he's like, call my mom, call my dad, call, so he's, but he's that type of guy. He's like, hey, I'm not going to try to figure this out by myself. And, some guys his age, they do. And, before they know it, their parents are kind of like, what just happened? But yeah, that's kind of my, my take. And I know there's going to be a lot of refinement along the way because, the current system that's in place, it just, it needs work. But I definitely think it's a good thing. And, I want to see it continue when it comes to taking care of our athletes.
Yeah, I think what you said is Josh said, call my mom, call my dad, because he said it earlier, keep the main thing the main thing. I just want to play football. Yeah. And I think that's great. And staying at Baylor is a testament of what he just want to play football. And that's good. But let my mom and dad handle the business side because now it's a business. It's more of a business. Right, yeah. And I want these guys to get every penny that they can off their name, their image and likeness, because we had a conversation before. They use my image and likeness, and I haven't seen a dime still. They didn't use my name. They couldn't use name, but they used image and likeness. Yeah. And so, but I'm so happy that these guys are able to get paid off of their hard work.
Yeah, their hard work. I totally agree. Yeah. That's that's for sure.
Again, hats off to you guys for managing that part of it because give me $100,000 at 19 years old. I don't know where I'll be.
But you know what?
Well, and I'll say, even to Josh's credit, though, he's been blessed. Baylor's done a good job with taking care of him. And Josh has been his mind when it comes to money is just always kind of been different compared to some guys. You probably won't really see him with big jewelry pieces or whatever. But he can tell you about the stock market. He can tell you which stocks he's buying. And, so he's always been investment focused. Good. And, we appreciate that so much about him. And he's not one to just like blow money. He's just kind of like, okay. So that's really cool watching as a parent, because we're like, okay, he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay.
Yeah, I think he's one of my clients. I deal with a lot of athletes, and this person made a lot of money in his professional sport. And I said, what do you spend your money on? Because he has an old car he got when he first was drafted still. And I was like, what do you spend your money on? And Josh, you'll like this. He's like, video games. That's it.
That's what's up.
So he probably got one of those $1,500 headsets, $2,000 chair,
He got it
actually,
all.
those chairs can get up to $5,000-$10,000,
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm sure he has something like that. It was like he's probably, I know he's over a $20 million a year athlete, right?
Wow.
And just old car, modest house, and he spent his money on gaming.
Man, so Josh, one thing, whenever you have any day trading advice, just shoot for a weekend, because I'm not afraid to admit it. I play a little with Robinhood app,
For sure.
Here's the one story that a lot of people can relate to. It was tough to watch this from afar because it was just like, okay, you're the first person I've heard of it, but when you had to have a double lung transplant, and you sent me one of the most powerful photos, the before and after. Mm-hmm. And I'll start with you, Josh. I mean, you're watching your mom struggle health-wise, to seeing that. I mean, it's your mom. Yeah. And I know you probably had that helpless feeling, a lot of prayers, whatnot. But at any point, did you think like you would see her how she is now, just a totally different, much healthier woman?
Yeah, no, for sure. The whole process was honestly scary, and I'm sure my mom will hit more on it here in a little bit, but she actually went through cardiac arrest for like 19 minutes. And so that's kind of the reason why she was like that in that photo. And I didn't know that at the time. I really just thought that was kind of like a part of the lung transplant process. So my grandma and my mom, my aunt, they did a good job of kind of shielding me from that and just trying not to get me too riled up because I was going through school and spring ball and all that. But I think that really just goes to show how really strong my mom is, how brave she is, and really just how courageous she is. And I honestly knew that she was going to come out on top, honestly. I remember going down there to help her to relearn how to walk after that and just encouraging her and just seeing that passion. And one of the times when I went down there, she actually set a record walking. And so that's something I remember that'll always stick with me for the rest of my life. But no, just seeing where she is now to where she was then, she's the biggest inspiration for sure.
That's beautiful.
Awesome.
Man, that is absolutely beautiful, man. That's Andrea, if you will, whatever part of the story health-wise, what exactly was this something that had deteriorated over time? What happened?
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis back in May of 2007. And at that time, I was given it was a terminal diagnosis. I was told that I would have 2 to 3 years, that basically I had 2 to 3 years left to live at that point. And that was May 07. the technology, the way the lung transplant technology has changed and has advanced over the years. Back in 2007, Josh was 4 and his older brother was 11. And when they sent me to San Antonio to, be considered for a lung transplant, the doctor said, well, we can do the lung transplant and it'll probably give you another 2 to 3 years. And so I said, well, okay, have the transplant, you're saying another 2 to 3 years. Don't have the transplant and you're saying 2 to 3 years. So, and again, it was all based on just where the lung transplant technology was at the time. The lungs have historically been understudied and underfunded, and even, true to this day. But anyway, so my husband and I, of course, we are people of faith. And in our prayers, after we, just prayed about it and, of course, got over the initial shock and, the whole thing, we really believed that, we heard God say no to the transplant, that we were going to stand in faith and, believe God for just a miracle. And that miracle came because from 2007 all the way until 2021, I was, rocking and rolling. Now I was being medically treated. So, they were doing things, I was taking all kinds of medicines. There were different experimental things that came up along the way. And honestly, my doctors were amazed. They couldn't figure out. They were like, we don't know what's going on because the progression of the disease literally stopped. And, my doctor, like I said, it was just the whole process where, it was one of those things where God had his hand all over it. But in 2021, because I was living with such depleted lungs, meaning, my body wasn't getting enough oxygen, it started to affect my heart. So at that point, the only cure for the pulmonary heart disease that developed was a double lung transplant. And it was something that, the doctors couldn't wait on any longer. So December 2023 is December 31st, 2023 is when I actually received the double lung transplant. And I was doing great. I was, the transplant went great. I was up and talking and doing my thing and fully recovering. And, the doctors were like, oh my goodness, this is the best transplant. And, the whole thing. And then January 18th, 2024, which is, what you have the picture from, I was sitting up and I was telling my husband, I was like, honey, I'm really, really hot. I was just like burning up. And I was like, babe, can you ask the nurses, see if there's a fan or something here in the hospital? So he's like running around trying to find a fan and, he couldn't find a fan. So he came back to the room and he was like, hey, I can't find a fan. So I'll just run over to Walmart and buy one. And I was like, yeah, get me a fan. Cause I'm so hot. So in the meantime, my mom is, giving me like cold towels and stuff. But she had to take off to go check on the rehab facility that I was supposed to be leaving and, going into rehab with. So the two of them left at the same time within about 5 minutes of them leaving. This is what I'm told. I literally just, dropped dead, as they say, and I was in full-on cardiac arrest. And it took them almost 20 minutes to get my heartbeat back. And it was, like I said, the whole thing is just such a miraculous process because even one of my nurses told me, they later found out the condition that caused it, and I can't remember the name. I should have written it down. But the condition that caused the cardiac arrest is it's a rare condition. And like I said, I apologize that I didn't get information. But this particular condition has a 99% mortality rate. So like less than 1% of the individuals that go into cardiac arrest because of this condition survive. And these are individuals like whether they're in the hospital or not. So, and again, that was explained to me later on in the process. And God had his hand on me. Even the nurse, one of my nurses, the one that immediately started CPR, she told me, she said, because she was crying, and because it was months before I could talk and, do any of that. I literally had to relearn to function in every sense of the word. So I'm having this conversation with her, and she was telling me, she said, she said, every time I look at you, whenever I come in here, she said, I just get teary-eyed because she said, number one, normally when a patient codes the way you do, she told me, she said, normally they will, try to resuscitate 7, maybe 8 minutes max. And she said, but in your case, the doctors, just, kept saying, let's keep going, let's keep going, let's keep going. The doctors wouldn't stop. And, so even though we're going on, 20 minutes, the doctors were just like, no, we're not going to call it. We're not going to call it. And, and then, like I said, then when I found out medically what happened, and I was just like, wow, God, you are so, so amazing. God is so good. So that's what the picture is from. And because I had to relearn how to do everything, I tell everyone it's like the hardest thing I've ever experienced in my life. So hats off to athletes, to anyone that has to rehab, to do anything, because there were so many days that I was like, I'm cooked, I'm done. I just, I never thought I would be able to walk again, even being able to talk. There were just so many things that I just, I didn't know if I would be able to do it again. Right. And, but I did know that, I always promised Josh, I was like, baby, I'm not going to miss your games. Mama's going to be there. Mama's going to be there. And so that was kind of one of my goals. I knew that, okay, my baby is going to have a game coming up in August and Mama's got to be there. So that was my goal. And I was at his first game and I was at every game this season. So it was, just such a blessing. Yeah.
That is. And to add to it, you've earned a new title. And you can put on your resume if you like. It may already be on there, but the Baylor team mom, Josh. That's a big title to carry. What all does your mom have to do? Because that's a lot of work, in my opinion.
I don't even be knowing all the details. I don't know all the details. I know she got to organize different events and stuff now. I'm like, okay, I see you, mama. I see you.
Yes.
That's. You literally are an extension of the athletic department, right?
Yeah. That's what we do. It's fun. It's, it really is just about keeping things organized and kind of being that liaison between the parents and the, inside the building, so to speak, and making sure that we're straight on everything on our end as parents. So, but yeah, no, that's a lot of fun.
Stevie, who was your team mom at Texas?
I don't think we had one, bro.
You had Sally Brown, Mac's wife, right?
Sally was I don't know if she was a team mom, but she was one of them. She would hand out cookies to us as we got on the plane for away games.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That's
fine.
Yeah. I have to up my game then.
I was going to say, Mom, you need to at Waco Airport.
Yeah.
And have a little cookies. Getting out and make some cookies.
I know.
She would do it.
My mother would, in a heartbeat, she'd be like, oh, we need to make cookies. Oh, wait.
That is awesome.
Oh my goodness.
All right, this is where we have fun. We've had some really fun, stories I still laugh about to this day. Josh, do you and your mom have a story that could be deemed man cave story-esque that's just as amusing now as it was when it happened?
Man. I'm trying to think. That's a tough question. You can give me a little bit. I need to think of something. You got anything, Mom?
I don't know why, but the thing that comes to mind is you and that silly YouTube channel with the whole thing about getting a whooping.
Oh, okay.
I don't see.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What is going on, guys? Josh Crater, I was getting a whooping.
Oh my
Where can
goodness.
we find this?
YouTube channel.
So yeah, no, when I was
What's the
younger,
name of the YouTube page?
Josh the Creator.
Josh the Creator.
Yeah, when I was younger,
gosh.
I had like a little YouTube channel. I was
Oh, we're
grinding.
gonna find this.
I was doing the unboxings. I was doing the little Bean Boozled challenge, the little jelly beans with my mom. I was doing it all. So this one video I made was basically talking about basically like the last whooping I ever got from my parents. And so I could
Oh my goodness.
so basically my brother, he basically like put me on a strategy. He was like, all right, bro. So look, this is what you got to do for it to hurt less. Right before you get whooped,
Just clench your butt cheeks.
I was finna get the whooping, and I did that. And so right before my dad, whooped me, I clenched up, and then I hit. I was like, oh shoot! I actually started laughing. It didn't hurt at all. It didn't hurt at all. And so Dad's just looking like, okay. And so then after that, basically that was the last whoop I received. My dad went back to my mom, was just like, hey, I think we need to try something different.
Yeah.
We need to start taking electronics because, I think he done grew out the whooping. So, yeah, that whole story is on my YouTube channel for Josh the Creator. So, that's a good one.
Awesome.
His brother told him to squeeze up his booty cheeks. Squeeze those butt cheeks. And that would absorb the pain. And he literally broke my husband as a result. My husband lost his will.
I think we gotta try something else.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Josh says, no, we stayed up for hours talking about that. I was like, listen, I'm trying to encourage my husband, like, come on, man, get back in the game.
That's true. Oh,
my husband was like, babe, the boy laughed at me.
Squeeze those cheeks, man.
Oh
I
my
done that.
gosh.
I wish I would have done that. Oh my God. Hey, and it hurts me worse than it hurts you. Did you ever hear that?
Literally.
Hey, Stevie, we're going to end this episode when we end it here in about 15 minutes. Don't you feel inspired by them?
No question. The boy-mom relationship is similar to the daddy-daughter relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sitting here smiling with you guys. I love it. My two babies are my heart, man. My two girls. I got two girls, and you have two boys, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in my heart. I'm hoping that I have a relationship with my baby when she goes off to college like this. And she's leaving in August. But hats off to you guys, man. It's fun talking to y'all. Great story. I now have now that we don't play, the University of Texas and Baylor don't play each other in the regular season.
Cool,
yeah.
Cool,
now I have a favorite bear.
I appreciate it.
I have a favorite bear.
Thank you.
And when Longhorns aren't playing, it's Sick'em, right? So
There you go.
Sick'em Bears, man. So you go out there and do your thing, man. Good luck this season. Work hard this off season, man. You know what to do. Just work hard this off season. Put your head down and make the main thing, and just play football.
Yes,
sir.
Sage
just play
advice.
football, and your mom and dad got your back. They'll handle all of the rest for you. But you just stay between that. What is it? 53 yards by 110, 120 yards. That's all you need to do, man.
Yes,
That's
sir.
it.
And keep returning that ball.
Yes, sir.
And Stevie, relay the message you tell your lovely wife whenever she starts thinking negativity. What do you tell her?
Yo, get out of your head. It's scary in there.
That's hard. That's hard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep that one.
We're going to be pulling for you, Josh, and the entire Cameron family for sure. I've got allergies right now. You can tell I'm choking up. I'm not sad. I'm just
you're crying. You're crying because of the story, man. It's okay to cry, man.
Man, it's okay to cry.
Oh gosh.
It is, man.
Oh my
Thank
God.
y'all so much.
I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate this, and just y'all giving Josh the opportunity to to talk about his story and all of that. So we just appreciate being on with y'all.
We appreciate you guys because it's a great story. It's inspiring, and you guys are amazing people on top of all that. We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And before you guys leave, you could probably – I want y'all to see Stevie acting. But when we come back, we're going to try to figure out how the Texas baseball team can win the SEC. It's not as hard as you think. Plus, man, we got a kid who stuck his hand – and a cardinal bit him, and he doesn't understand why. A little 8-year-old has some choice words that he's probably going to get a whipping for, and maybe he should have clenched his cheeks. Well, much love to the Camerons, and we'll see you on the other side.
Much love.
Here at Hargrove Roofing, we try to think outside the box to kind of get the creative juices flowing. So I brought in my friend Stevie Lee, former defensive tackle for the Texas Longhorns. He's going to help the team strategize, really motivate them, light a fire.
This guy's going to block down. This guy's going to block down. You put your butt into the guard, and that way my Mike linebacker gets free to do what?
Not only are they going to learn a thing or two, but they're going to also leave with a great attitude and a bunch of smiles on their faces.
I'm sorry, what does this have to do with roofing exactly?
Get out.
Right now.
I said get out.
For me, that's what it's all about. It's just having fun, making our employees have a great time. Hargrove Roofing. Know who's on your roof.
Great. Augie Garrido. He knew what he was doing. But when you play uncharacteristically, and honestly, the current Longhorns, great team. They've lost their number one pitcher for the year. And I think that has hurt them because they're trying to get that rotation together in their bullpen. Stevie, they have lost 5 of their last 7 games. But you know, they were number one. They're probably still going to be a national top 8 seed when the regionals start. I don't think there's a lot of panic, but there is a concern now that this team may not be a College World Series team as of this moment.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think that we're still a World Series team. I mean, just, 5 out of the last 7. We were ranked number 1 in the country. It's just a mid-season slump right now, and we can get back on track. Let's not throw out the baby with the bath, So
you don't want to do that.
Yeah, you don't. And so I don't think that we're down and out. We may be down right now, but we're not out. So
well, the hitting is now struggling. They had one big inning in that game 2 against Florida. Granted, Florida's good, but they let a freshman pitcher pretty much dominate them, if I remember correctly, on Sunday. They've got to get the run production back. They've got to figure out this pitching rotation. And they enter the last week of the regular season this weekend at Oklahoma. Oklahoma is now below 500 in the SEC. If I did my math correctly, and I think I'm usually accurate, correct me if I'm wrong if you're watching, Texas just needs to win 1 game in Norman of the 3 to clinch at least a share of the SEC regular season title.
Okay, I don't know that one. I can't correct you. Yeah, so that So like I'm saying, we're maybe down right now, but we're not out.
No, they're not out. But I'm looking at longevity. Can they repair this to where I think they can get out of there because they're going to host a regional. If they win that, they're going to host a super regional. I think they'll get out of a regional.
Okay.
I don't think the SEC tournament is important. I think they do need to utilize it to get their pitching staff, and get that swagger back in their lineup because they've got dudes. And they got the best closer in the game, if not one of the best. But I think they have not had any slumps in this season until now. Late.
Yeah.
Is this enough time? I think they can get it together, but it's just baseball is a funky game. It'll break your heart. It's streaky. So win one at OU, because OU is going to be desperate now to get back on the winning ways. Now, you live up near Cedar Park, man. I went with a fraternity brother of mine. He lives in Cedar Park. I hadn't been to the HEB/Cedar Park Center since I was in the media, and the AAA affiliate of the Dallas Stars. Dude, this atmosphere right here, off the chain. That game that they won that playoff series against Grand Rapids, Michigan. They were down 4-1, 4-1, and came back and won in double overtime. Wow. That place was on its feet, jumping.
Good stuff.
Have you been to that arena for a game?
I've been to the arena. I haven't been to a hockey game yet.
Dude, you got it. I'm telling you, everyone watching, bring your mamas. Belated Mother's Day gift. Take them to a Texas Stars playoff game. And guess who was sitting next to me on this side?
Who's that?
My urologist.
Are you serious?
Dr. Carl Bischoff, urology Austin, big shout out. He's seen a lot of things of mine. He's really good at it. Well, good at being a urologist. Big fan of Dr. Bischoff. This video is kind of disturbing, the TikToking in the man cave. A little kid put his finger up to looked like a cardinal, and didn't understand why this happened. It's all about cause and effect.
Ow! Ow! Shit! What the shit? Shit! Ow! Why did he bite me?
Why are they holding a cardinal?
Yeah, that's one. Question one. Question two is why you put your finger up there. And question three, who is this kid hanging around?
Yeah. He didn't learn that language on his own.
Yeah. Who is this kid hanging around? I mean, sounds like one of my friends he's hanging around. Sounds like one of my guys.
Hey, man, tell me something good.
All right, Stevie, great episode, but we got to end on positivity. Tell me something good, my brother.
Man, I had something all lined up, but our guest today, that was something good, man. So happy that Andrea is here, still with us, with her son, doing great things. And her husband, Gaius, they're just a good family, good people all around. I'm so happy that we go to church together and we can do life together. But they're just good people, man. So she inspired me that you can do anything out here, man. Her telling us that she had to relearn to walk, and she wanted to go to her son's game, so she made that a goal of hers.
Pushed herself.
She pushed herself so she can make it to her baby's game, and so that's inspirational, man. And I'm sure she inspired Josh, and Josh inspired her. So that was really cool to hear. That's something good. That's something I will always take with me, man. The adversity that she has gone through, and they have overcome, and is still overcoming it. So that's awesome story, awesome comeback story from a great family. Personal friends of ours.
I'll tell you something good, and I'm going to be a little vulnerable here. I want people. I'm going to do a Coffee with Clynch episode strictly on this, but I'm just going to not share everything that I've shared with Stevie. But I think everyone, this is get therapy. Therapy. I haven't been to therapy in almost 2 decades. I just had some things in life catch up with me recently, and I was not myself for 3 weeks. Really down, not understanding why. Started therapy about, Stevie, 5 weeks ago, 5 or 6 weeks ago, 6 weeks. And to make it short, to the point, I really was not feeling like myself, just nothing positive. And I wasn't that extreme to, but I was just felt low. So we came up with a timeline. And so we realized through this therapist that I have had something that I've never used before, but I have since 2019 trauma and significant changes in my life from 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and now 2025, all compiled. And what did I do? I just kept going. Yeah, thinking that I did the work, packing it all in until it surfaced. I cracked, not going to lie. So now we're on the road to recovery, and that's why we haven't done a podcast in 3 weeks.
Gotcha.
And that's all good.
It's recovery and healing.
Yes. And I want to encourage people to do that. Yep.
Well, I've said this to you, man. I got your back.
I got
Whatever you need, you call. I got you, man. You're I don't know if you can call it accountability partner or whatever, but I'm here. Stevie Lee is here. I'll stop pass rushing to come and help you.
Hey, that's true, brother. I'd do the same for you and your family for sure.
I know.
But there's a lot to gain out of this, and I'm learning a lot that I just didn't take the time to stop and do. I thought I did, but there's a lot of special people in our lives. And Stevie, much love to you, brother. Appreciate you.
You too, man. You too.
So, for the great city of Shreveport, Louisiana, the hometown of the Stevie Lee and the hometown of Hargrove Roofing, much love to the Hargrove family. We love them. They're fine Americans. Support them. And, we've got hailstorms galore even this time of year. Call Hargrove Roofing. Stevie, what do you say to that?
Hargrove Roofing. Know who's on your roof.
100%. And to the town, that is the home of my college alma mater, Stephen F. Austin in Nacogdoches, Texas, in the red brick streets of downtown Nac. Go visit and behind the pine curtain, and to my beautiful hometown, Austin, Texas, and to you, the beautiful people watching and listening to these episodes, much love to you. And to everybody, share, like, follow. We appreciate you guys. And to everybody, thank you. Thank you. And to the OG Man Cave boys, that being Hardball Harge, Big Mike, and the Coach Mo, what do we tell them, Stevie Lee?
We out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.
I said get out.